Are you looking for an elite flannel operation unit to go out into DZ and battle the infamous rogue perpetrators? Then we have a solution for you. It's called the Redneck Avengers Initiative. And if you yourself want to become a member, just call the 1-800 Free Bird. And behind me is the Redneck Avengers call center, and it sounds like we have a call coming in now. So let's listen in.
Answer the phone or I'm whooping your ass. Answer the phone or I'm whooping your ass. I'm serious. If you don't answer this dadgum phone, I'm coming down there and kicking your ass so hard you have to clear your throat before you fart. Answer the dadgum phone.
You have reached the Redneck Hotline. If you would like to talk to a fellow redneck, please dial 1 and then say 1, because we're not going to know what you dialed unless you say it. If you are married to your cousin, or if your family tree goes straight up with no branches, please say the number 2. If you're still sporting your mullet because you feel like you're ahead of your time, then just spit. If you love the song Free Bird, you don't have to do anything because that's understood. Free Bird! Thank you for calling the...
What is up, Gorilla Nation, and welcome your butts back to a brand new edition and a brand new episode of the Division 2 Build Series. But if you would be so kind, please smash that like button, ground and pound that subscription button, and then reach up there, trigger the bell, and turn on post notifications, so that way you know each and every time a video is uploaded or a stream goes live. And if you want to take that one step further, then there is a thanks button on every single video, and not just on live streams, that you can click on to further your support for the channel. All proceeds will go to giveaways like the one coming up when I hit 14k subs, and also to better the content on the channel by way of other games, better graphics, PS5, things of that nature. So it's not warranted or necessary, but if that's something you want to do and you felt led to, then by all means do so at your own discretion. But anyways, let's hop into the Corvinus build. Starting out first with the weaponry, I'm utilizing the P90 and also the Vector. We'll start first with the P90. I just got actually today in Countdown running with it, and it actually works pretty well with the 900 RPM, 15 round magazine. As you can see, it's maxed out with SMG damage, critical hit chance, and damage to armor. And I'm running Sadist. Deal 20% weapon damage to bleeding enemies. Apply after 4 kills, applies bleed to the next enemy you hit. And it only has 2 mods that are able to put on it, and of course I went with crit damage and crit chance. The next one, of course, no introduction is needed, is the Vector SBR 9mm, because it has the 53 round magazine, 1200 RPMs, and as you can see I already have it at level 2. Just getting the materials to get it to level 3 is all that is needed, and also it is going with Sadist. And these are the mods as followed: crit damage, reload speed, minus, and then of course 20 rounds. And then we have the 5% critical hit chance, and then depending on the stats on your build, you can substitute one of those crit chance mods on your weapon and go with that additional 5% critical hit damage. Now when it comes to the specialist, I'm going with the gunner, just because when you apply an armor kit, it does give you additional bonus armor when you go into PvP situations specifically, or if you get able to duck and cover when you face like certain hunters and like Countdown or whatnot, then that additional bonus armor definitely comes in handy. Or you can run the likes of Technician, but I have it already proficient, so that's another reason why I switched to another specialization, just to more or less get it proficient. And as you can see, I've already leveled it up once as well, as far as when it comes to expertise, with that +1 additional weapon damage. Now when it comes to skills, I'm utilizing the Deflector Drone or Defender Drone, and in PvP it gives you that 10% weapon reduction. That is further more weapon reduction damage by way of, if you're utilizing the Technician, it'll nullify more damage coming in because it gives you that +1 skill tier. And of course damage reduction and PvE is the same. As far as with the Technician specialization, it'll actually negate more damage incoming, but right now with no skill tier it's at 20%, but the sky's the limit. I'm utilizing the Bleed Hive because I am running a specific talent on my build, and this allows me to inflict bleed on multiple enemies, and then of course getting that additional repair from my chest piece. So speaking of those, let's start with the chest piece. It's Ridgeway's Pride. Max weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage, and then crit damage in the mod slot. And it has Bleeding Edge. Shooting enemies within 15 meters applies bleed to the target. Repair 3 to 48% of your armor per second for every enemy that is bleeding within 15 meters. Repair strength per number of bleeding enemies are as followed: 1 3%, 2 6%, 3 enemies 12%, 4 enemies 24%, and then 5 enemies 48%. So it's like on the level 30 or room 30 of the summit, when you can rinse and repeat and significantly boost your watch score, things of that nature. They particularly come out one set of doors, so you can, like in my situation, throw the bleed hive, causes them all to bleed, and then get all that return healing. And so basically I'm not taking any damage whatsoever, and then in turn just able to stand there, spray and pray, and be basically invulnerable. And since I'm utilizing Wicked on my backpack other than Creeping Death, then that allows me to have an additional damage to bleeding targets that are on that bleed status effect. Wicked is applying status effect, increases total weapon damage by 18% for 20 seconds. And the reason why I'm using the regular Wicked over the perfect Wicked is because you do not get any additional damage bonus. All you do is extend that 20 seconds into 27 seconds. And one piece of Golan just gives you additional status effects. And of course, I'm getting griefed by these stupid little NPCs that want to come in and look at you all the way down there. Really? You're messing up my build video, bro. Why you gotta be that way? You suck. And you haven't even had to reload yet? Oh, you're gonna pay. I'm gonna do a kickstand in your butthole. But anyways, sorry for the interruption. Let's go back to the redneck home base over here, and we'll get back into the build. Sorry for that. But when it comes to the backpack, the Anarchist Cookbook only gives you for that one piece additional status effect. I think it's like 15%, maybe just 10, but I think that's insignificant, seeming that I'm using SMGs, or even if you're using ARs, Fenris, Suck Me Off, it doesn't matter. You benefit more from that additional weapon damage than what you would from that mediocre status effect boost, which is, it only increased your bleed damage by like 2k, and I'd rather have that, additional 10%, weapon damage than over something of the likes of just the Anarchist Cookbook and then having that 15% additional status effect. And of course, those are the mods as followed. Critical hit damage. I have weapon handling on here because I'm already at 60% critical hit chances, which you'll see that in my character sheet. So crit chance is not needed here, but I would like to find a piece that's better than this one because, my values on it are mediocre. And if you have a better piece, then you're going to be hitting a lot harder and be more effective. But that critical hit chance definitely comes in handy, especially if you want to use ARs because they don't have the baked in crit chance. So that additional crit chance here would definitely come in handy if this was a Fenris backpack versus a Suck Me Off backpack. Now on to the mask. I'm still utilizing the Chill Out mask. Armor, critical hit damage, and all 3 attribute slots. You get 1 attribute slot from the Chill Out mask, and then you get 2 mod slots in it. So for instance, in PvP, to have the full pulse resistance, I don't have a 10% one, but just for craps and giggles, if I did, then I can just put 1 10% pulse resistance mod in this mask and still be like an essential mask from any other variety, and still able to put crit hit damage on it as well. I'm just benefiting from that additional mod slot. But since my max pulse resistance mod is 8.9%, and I've been farming profusely in Countdown trying to get a 10% one, haven't got one yet, then I can put 2 those 8.9% mod slots in here by pulse resistance, and then it puts me like 107 something percent. So I'm completely immune to pulse. I'm invisible to it. So, but I do not lose any critical hit damage because I still have that critical hit damage baked into the minor attribute slot in this Chill Out mask. And plus for this mask, I get 5% total additional armor as well on that. So that's the reasoning behind me utilizing the Chill Out mask over such things as like a Grupo that just is going to give me an additional critical hit damage. I get basically the same amount here in PvE situations, and then I can just run, 2 of the critical hit damage in the mod slot. And I actually been running this build in Countdown, and it actually works out really well. Now let's go into the 3 pieces of Yaw, starting with the holster, max armor, critical hit damage, critical hit chance. You might have a better holster. I'm still looking for one that have better value, so your stats will reflect that. Onto the knee pads, armor, critical hit chance, critical hit damage. Once I can, optimize and get enough materials to optimize that armor value, then it would put me at 1.6 million armor instead of the 1.5 and make me a lot more tankier. Now on to the gloves themselves, max armor, max critical hit damage, and then critical hit chance. And like I say, you can mix and match your Lego values with the blues and reds. And the reason why I call them Legos, just like I did back in the day when the game first dropped, is if you're missing out on one Lego, one particular piece from getting the desired armor value or weapon damage value, it's like stepping on a Lego barefooted. It absolutely hurts. So therefore, that's why I call these Legos instead of the blues, reds, or yellow varieties. You can mix and match if you want to go a little bit more tankier. Instead of one of my reds, like in the Suck Me Off backpack, you can put that as blue and be even more tankier if you so choose. Or you can change any other of the blue Legos and turn them to red if you want to put out a little more firepower. The choice is yours, and it all depends on the person's playstyle. This is according to my playstyle and how I play, so make it your own and make it conform to your playstyle, and don't try to conform your playstyle to a playstyle that's based on somebody else. So keep that in mind. But the character sheet, starting out with a P90 first. As you can see, 58.4% critical hit chance, 164.2 critical hit damage, 60 headshot damage, and 6% damage to armor. And then scrolling on down, you can see 43.5 all weapon damage bonus, then 40% coming by way of submachine gun, total of 83.5%. There's the armor values, and then of course the incoming repairs at 0, pulse resistance at 90, just because I'm getting 40% from the 3-piece yaw gear, and then 50 from my specialization, which that brings me to 90. And if you have that one mod for the 10% pulse resistance, then I'll put you at 100%. 2, and such as my case, 8.9, it puts me at 107%. Now let's go to the character sheet of the Vector, which is not much difference, but we're at max crit chance, same crit damage, and then no damage to armor because this Vector has the damage to targets out of cover instead. But make it your own, try it out, have a lot of fun, definitely in the dark zone, because then you're immune to definitely pulse. And I know there's been pulse resistance builds put out there, something similar, but typically you'll find them in like a yaw gear piece in the mask or holster, and then gloves, and they might be running the Fox's Prayer knee pads. But Fox's Prayer and Petrov, yeah, they're best in slot, but everybody uses them. It's cookie cutter, and I try to forge my own path besides walking somebody else's path that they've created. And so that's why I choose to run it this way, so that way I can utilize the chill out mask. Some will put on a chest piece and holster, and then fielder's choice when it comes to the gloves and knees, when it comes to yaw gear, and they'll run the Catharsis mask. I just always prefer the Ridgeways over the Catharsis because you get the armor repair and don't have to take any damage in order to receive it. Unlike the Catharsis mask, you have to actually build those stacks of incoming damage in order to proc and utilize it. But make it your own. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Appreciate all the love and support, and the link for the gameplay will be in the comments section below, so keep that in mind. God bless you, and always be a better person tomorrow than what you were today. We'll see you guys and gals later.